Cuts across the federal government, including at the FAA. Just going to put some up on the screen. Hundreds of FAA employees have been laid off as part of Elon Musk going through all the federal agencies. And then beyond the FAA, we have 10% of the CDC workforce, 3,400 at the U.S. Forest Service, 2,200 at the Interior Department, 2,000 at the Department of Energy, 1,000 at the VA.
Yeah, listen, and so far, at least if you kind of look at how Americans, Trump voters in particular, are reacting, so far this is something that they haven't really been affected by. You do hear from some GOP senators who are in some of these states where they're public parks, for instance, raising some alarms. But so far, these cuts, because they are directed at federal workers who the right has been expert at demonizing as lazy, as working from home, as costing too much, because they've been demonized, a lot of Americans say, too bad, so sad that they're being axed. We'll see how long that lasts. We'll see if there is any trickle-down effect for average Americans.
I just want to read what Chuck Schumer, the top Democrat in the Senate, said. I'm thankful that everyone in the flight incident in Toronto that took off from Minneapolis is safe, but we keep seeing these incidents day after day. Meanwhile, Trump's doing massive layoffs at the FAA, including safety specialists, and making our skies less and less
Leader
safe.
Chuck Schumer appeared to suggest that President Trump is to blame for the Delta plane crash in Canada. In a post on X, Schumer said Trump's layoffs at the FAA are making the skies less safe, while Democrats are fighting to protect the public. Schumer wrote in a separate post, the flight took off from Minneapolis. The FAA was still responsible for inspecting the aviation equipment, and Trump just let go of FAA safety specialists. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says that's not true. According to Duffy, less than 400 of the agency's 45,000 employees were let go. None of them were air traffic controllers or critical safety personnel. They were all probationary, meaning they had been on the job for less than a year. The Professional Aviation Safety Specialists Union said it represents approximately 300 workers who were laid off, including maintenance mechanics, aeronautical information specialists, environmental protection specialists, aviation safety assistants, and management and program assistants. Schumer isn't the only Democrat blaming the Trump administration for recent tragedies and troubles. Senator Brian Schatz posted, eggs and coffee around 20% more expensive, airplanes crashing, mass layoffs. Either they're really bad at helping you, or you are not the one they want to help. The investigation into how the plane crashed, caught fire, and flipped over began in earnest Monday night, and more investigators arrived Tuesday morning. That includes officials from government agencies and companies including Delta and Mitsubishi. The CEO of the Toronto Airport Authority said 2 storms last week dropped more snow on the area than they received all of last year. That led to hundreds of cancellations throughout the weekend. Monday was considered an operational recovery day for the airport. Now its 2 longest runways remain closed, causing even more cancellations.
It's incredibly irresponsible for Chuck Schumer to say such a thing when the investigation is still underway. And as you rightfully pointed out, John, this crash unfortunately took place in Canadian airspace with Canadian air traffic controllers overseeing it. And the facts about the FAA are that no air traffic controllers have been let go by Secretary Duffy or this new administration.